This is The Growth Journey. Real life, real growth, divinely inspired, where military discipline meets a ministry heart. With 40 years of life-shaping experience, including 22 years on active duty, and a deep calling to ministry, David Averitt, CEO and founder of CA Outreach Nationwide, shares spirit-led wisdom and practical tools to transform your life. He's also the author of an ebook on growth, bringing even more insight to help you flourish in faith, marriage, leadership, character, church, and business. Ready for divinely inspired results? Let's get started.
Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we embark on a journey through fascinating material to extract the most important nuggets of knowledge and insight, custom tailored just for you. Today, we're diving deep into a truly heartwarming and remarkably practical memoir titled Tiny Steps, Big Leaps. Guiding your toddler's growth every day is a training day. This isn't just a collection of reflections, it's a personal journey and a very hands-on guide, penned by Chaplain David Averitt. Our mission today is to unpack the core principles and delightful, often humorous anecdotes that Mr. Averitt shares, revealing how every single day spent with your toddler can be transformed into a rich opportunity for profound growth, intentional purpose, and gentle discipline. We'll discover surprising facts and real-world examples that you might never have considered, all designed to offer actionable insights you can apply immediately.
It sounds fantastic. And what's truly fascinating here, I think, is how the memoir consistently frames parenting not as this overwhelming, intense chore, but rather as a gentle, consistent, and deeply joyful guidance, kind of like a skilled gardener tending a young, precious plant, you know?
That's a great analogy.
Yeah, and we'll meticulously explore how David Averitt and his wife work together to cultivate character, understanding, and faith in their 4-year-old daughter, lovingly known as Tiny. You'll probably find yourself surprised by the simplicity and the profound impact of many of these strategies, and how they offer a unique blueprint for intentional parenting.
Okay, let's begin by unpacking the very foundation of this insightful memoir. Chaplain David provides a quick note from Chaplain David right at the beginning. It gives us an immediate kind of intimate peek into the minds and experiences that shaped this wisdom. What does that initial note reveal about the authors and their unique qualifications?
Well, that quick note is incredibly telling, actually. We learn right away that this memoir is a collaborative effort co-authored by David Averitt and his wife. And her contributions are rooted in a deep academic and practical understanding of child development. She has a PhD in education.
Wow.
Yeah, and an impressive 16 years of hands-on teaching experience. Plus, beyond the formal education, she brings 3 decades of invaluable experience leading Sunday school for young children, specifically aged 3 to 5.
3 decades.
Right. So a wealth of insight into early childhood spiritual and social development right there.
Absolutely. And what about Chaplain David himself?
So Chaplain David himself contributes this really unique blend of personal and professional insights. He talks about lessons learned raising his now 28-year-old son. And he proudly notes his son is well on his way to achieving his first million, which he sees as, a testament to that long-term impact of early guidance.
That's quite a testament.
It is. And his understanding is further enriched because he's participated in over 30 week-long seminars focused on marriage and child development. He also possesses valuable experience instructing marriage seminars for soldiers returning from deployment and their families, addressing those unique challenges military families face.
Okay, so real-world application there too.
Exactly. And it's important to note, the memoir clarifies he served as a military leader, not a chaplain in the military, but currently serves as a chaplain in the jail system. So this brings this really broad perspective on human behavior, resilience, spiritual guidance. It all weaves together to create this rich tapestry of wisdom in the memoir.
So with all that incredible background, what is the core mission David Averitt and his wife hope to achieve with Tiny Steps, Big Leaps for parents like you listening today? What's the main takeaway they're aiming for?
Well, at its heart, this memoir is really designed to inspire parents to truly embrace the fun and the joy that's inherent in raising their tinies, as they affectionately call them. It tries to shift the perspective from parenting being a burden to it being more of an adventure.
I like that.
Yeah, and more specifically, it emphasizes instilling the profound, lifelong value of education and continuous learning in children right from their earliest years. For girls, the memoir articulates this really powerful vision. It encourages parents to help their daughters understand their immense potential as future leaders and providers.
Leaders and providers, okay.
Right. So this means fostering excellence in school encouraging higher education, or guiding them towards acquiring a valuable trade. This preparation is presented as like a vital safeguard, ensuring they have the skills and independence to support themselves and their families if, unforeseen circumstances ever prevent a partner from working.
That makes sense. And for boys?
For boys, the message is equally clear and compelling. Diligent effort in school, pursuing a college degree or a valuable trade, these are presented as essential cornerstones for their future ability to care for and build up their own families. It emphasizes responsibility and providing for loved ones.
So a strong focus on purpose and preparation for both.
Exactly.
And the memoir also touches on something called Raising Tiny in a New World, a parent's evolving journey. David Averitt notes that navigating the complexities of raising a child today feels vastly different, even from just 28 years ago when his son was young. What new challenges does he highlight, and how does he navigate them with Tiny?
Yeah, this point raises a really important question that I think a lot of parents grapple with today. How do we navigate new societal challenges and conversations that, frankly, just weren't as prevalent a generation ago? Chaplain David specifically touches on discussions about gender identity, for instance, encountering these conversations maybe in clothing stores, which could be a new frontier for parents.
Right, that can be tricky.
It can. He explains that his personal belief leans towards traditional gender distinctions, but he also emphasizes that he always strives to approach others with respect for their viewpoints, even if they differ. His practical approach with Tiny, starting from a very young age, began by introducing her to things like play makeup, nail polish, and traditionally girls' clothing and hair accessories.
Making it fun.
Exactly. He emphasizes making it a fun and natural part of her self-expression. His stated aim is for her to have a clear and confident sense of her gender identity, just as, he says, one would teach a boy. He is a boy from the start. He's quoted saying, "We emphasize the fun of coordinating outfits and aim for her to have a clear sense of her gender, just as one would teach a boy. He is a boy from the start."
Okay.
And then he references ancient wisdom, drawing from Proverbs chapter 22, verse 6, which advises, "Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it." This wisdom, he contends, applies to every aspect of a child's identity and understanding, suggesting that consistent, intentional guidance from an early age forms a lasting foundation.
Interesting connection there. Okay, moving on from those foundational principles, let's explore how David Averitt and his wife put these ideas into action, starting with leading by example, showing up, and shining bright. The memoir highlights that one of the most powerful lessons we can impart isn't taught through lectures, right? But through our own daily lives, the value of diligence and commitment.
Absolutely true. Mr. Everett really stresses that it's not enough to simply tell children about hard work. They need to witness it. This is what the memoir calls the ripple effect. Your hard work, dedication, their motivation.
The ripple effect, I like that phrasing.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? When Tiny observes her parents' dedication and consistent effort, whether it's at their jobs or diligently maintaining the home or actively serving in their community, she learns the importance of perseverance and follow-through firsthand. This visual lesson in diligence is just invaluable for a young, impressionable mind. She's absorbing not just the outcome, but the consistent, often unseen effort behind it all. David Averitt underscores this by referencing Colossians chapter 3, verse 23, which encourages us. "And whatsoever you do, do it heartily as to the Lord and not unto men." So it's about showing them that all efforts, even the mundane tasks, can be approached with a sense of purpose and dedication, as if offered to something greater than ourselves.
That's a powerful way to frame daily tasks. Now, here's where it gets really interesting, I think. Church. Making faith fun and engaging. We all know sitting still and paying attention can be, well, a monumental challenge for little ones during church services. How do Chaplain David and his wife tackle that?
Oh, it's a universal parenting challenge, for sure. But David Averitt shares this truly brilliant creative solution that transformed a potential struggle into an engaging learning experience. He calls it sermon bingo for a little listener.
Sermon bingo. Okay, tell me more.
Right. For Tiny, they've ingeniously turned listening to the sermon into an interactive game. She has a small notepad and a pencil, and every time the pastor says specific keywords like Bible, prayer, or Jesus, she puts a mark down. They also customize it, occasionally including the name of a particular book of the Bible if the pastor references it frequently.
That's genius.
Isn't it? It's not just about keeping her quiet. It's about actively engaging her young mind with the content of the sermon, helping her identify and recall key spiritual terms in this really playful, rewarding way.
I love that. And I understand there's also the reward system with a bonus that sweetens the deal.
Absolutely. There's a reward. Once Tiny accumulates 5 marks on her notepad, she earns a small pre-approved snack. And Chaplain David shares this genuinely funny moment from the very first time they tried this. He says she eagerly heard Bible and marked it, but then with this incredible determination, her eyes lit up and she went straight for 5 more marks to get another treat.
Huh. Already gaming the system.
Totally. That shows some serious motivation, right? This strategy not only keeps her deeply engaged throughout the service, but also actively helps her recognize and internalize key spiritual terms. It makes it a joyful and positive way to reinforce the importance of listening and participating in worship.
That really connects learning and fun.
It does. And it truly embodies the spirit of Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 7, which says, "And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up." That ancient wisdom just underscores the importance of integrating teaching into all moments of life, transforming what could be a restless experience into an active learning one.
That's fantastic. Moving beyond personal habits and engagement in worship, the memoir discusses cultivating generosity and a heart for service. How do they teach Tiny these vital virtues?
Well, at church, they consistently train Tiny to participate in the offering. So when she can, she gives and puts her offering into the box. It teaches her the importance of sharing what she has and contributing to the community. This aligns beautifully with Luke chapter 6, verse 38. "Give, and it shall be given unto you, good measure, pressed down and shaken together, and running over shall men give into your bosom. For with the same measure that ye meet withal, it shall be measured to you again."
So a foundational lesson in giving.
Exactly. But it goes beyond just monetary contributions. They also teach what the memoir calls tiny acts of service, big heart.
Tiny acts of service.
Yeah. For instance, before the service begins, she checks the platform to ensure there's a bottle of water ready for the preacher and another for the song leader.
Oh, that's sweet.
Isn't it? This simple yet profound act teaches her to anticipate others' needs and to serve without being asked. It's a beautiful, tangible example of Matthew chapter 20, verse 28. "Even as the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister, and to give his life a ransom for many." These small actions, consistently practiced, build a foundational understanding of selfless service and consideration for others. It shows how even a 4-year-old can contribute meaningfully.
That's really powerful. Our children are always watching, always learning from us, aren't they? This next section from the memoir, The Unseen Curriculum, Parental Love and Unity, delves into how the unity and love parents show for each other profoundly impact their children, often in ways we don't even realize.
This is such a critical point. Your toddler is a constant observer of your relationship, quietly absorbing how a healthy partnership functions. David Everett highlights a powerful practice they employ, which he calls bragging rights, building each other up.
Bragging rights. Okay.
Yeah, he and his wife always make it a point to genuinely brag about each other in front of Tiny. For example, he'll say things like, "He's a very hardworking person," or, he adds, "I usually say, Mommy always takes care of us and the house, and she works very hard." And he emphasizes that he always tells his wife he loves her with all his heart. This consistent verbal affirmation and public appreciation creates this positive, secure, loving atmosphere where Tiny feels safe and sees love in action.
That's a wonderful way to model respect. And then there are the affection in action and its funny lessons that Mr. Everett shares. These sound truly memorable.
Oh, they certainly are. This is where their playful expressions of love become Tiny's early understanding of healthy, affectionate relationships. David Everett shares this moment that will probably resonate with many parents. He recounts, one time Tiny asked, "Dad, why do you spank Mom on the bottom in the kitchen?"
Uh-oh.
Right? He says he started laughing out loud and told her, "It's not spanking, it's called a love tap, 'cause I love her." Tiny's innocent "oh" was classic, and he continues, "Now she goes around love tapping Mom on her bottom. LOL.
Oh my goodness. That's hilarious and slightly embarrassing, I imagine.
Totally. It's a sweet, if sometimes hilariously public, demonstration of affection. And there's another truly funny one he shares. Chaplain David adds, "Another thing I do is always when I see Mom, I will say, 'Sexy mommy is coming.' Now she says it in the stores. LOL."
No, in the stores.
Oh,
dear.
Can you imagine? These moments, while humorous in their unintended public display, are deeply formative, he argues. They teach Tiny about physical affection within a loving, playful, and respectful context. They normalize warmth and connection, showing her that love is something openly expressed and celebrated within the family unit.
So with these unique and very open expressions of love and unity, What does David Averitt envision for Tiny's future relationships? What's the ultimate goal of this unseen curriculum?
Well, David Averitt's profound goal with these consistent expressions of love and unity is really to show Tiny what a truly loving, respectful, and affectionate relationship looks like, both in action and in words. He hopes that as she grows and navigates her own path, she will internalize this example and ultimately find a guy who will treat her with the same level of respect, affection, and adoration that he shows her mom.
Setting the standard high.
Exactly. This early modeling sets a vital and high benchmark for her future relationships, shaping her expectations for how she should be loved, valued, and respected. The memoir links this directly to biblical wisdom, noting that Ephesians chapter 5, verse 33 says, "Nevertheless, let every one of you in particular so love his wife even as himself, and the wife see that she reverence her husband." End quote. And 1 John chapter 4, verse 7 reminds us, "Beloved, let us love one another, for love is of God, and everyone that loveth is born of God and knoweth God." Demonstrating love within the family, David Averitt suggests, reflects God's love, providing a living, breathing example of these timeless principles for their daughter.
A peaceful home often starts with the way we communicate, doesn't it? And Chaplain David dedicates a section to the power of a soft tone, nurturing a peaceful home. What does this mean in their daily interactions with Tiny?
It means making a very conscious and consistent choice to speak in a soft, gentle tone, never resorting to yelling or cursing at Tiny. Now, this doesn't imply a lack of discipline. Quite the contrary. When Tiny does something wrong, they clearly tell her she is wrong and meticulously explain how to fix it. But it's all delivered with a calm, gentle voice.
Consistency is key there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This consistent approach creates a peaceful and emotionally safe atmosphere within their home. And the result, David Averitt observes, is that Tiny, in turn, also develops a soft attitude in her interactions. Mr. Averitt candidly shares the realities of parenting a lively 4-year-old. Even when she's wild, playful, and leaves toys or stickers everywhere, he even amusingly notes, "nail polish on everything, LOL. They never get angry and always use soft words."
That takes patience.
A lot of patience. They understand, as many parents do, that they will have to repeat themselves many, many times, but their commitment to maintaining that gentle tone remains unwavering. It's a testament to their patience and intentionality in shaping Tiny's environment and emotional responses.
So, beyond just maintaining peace in the moment, what are the broader benefits David Averitt highlights for consistently using a soft tone in parenting?
The memoir lists several profound ideas and benefits of using a soft tone, and these extend far beyond just managing the moment. Firstly, it fundamentally creates emotional safety. Speaking softly helps children feel secure and loved, reducing anxiety and fear, showing them they are valued even when they make mistakes. As Proverbs chapter 15, verse 1 powerfully states, "A soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger."
That's a classic.
It is. Secondly, it's a direct form of modeling respectful behavior. Parents who consistently use a gentle tone are modeling the very communication style they hope their children will imitate. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 29 encourages no corrupt communication, but rather that which is good and edifying. Thirdly, it significantly aids in conflict resolution. A calm voice naturally de-escalates conflicts and teaches children to manage their own emotions constructively, rather than mirroring anger. Colossians chapter 3, verse 21 advises, "Fathers, provoke not your children to anger."
Good reminder.
And lastly, it encourages openness. Children are far more likely to share their thoughts, feelings, even their mistakes, when they don't fear harsh reactions. James chapter 1, verse 19 wisely reminds us to be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath, a principle that underpins this whole approach.
Are there any specific findings or research insights cited in the memoir to back up these benefits of a soft tone? Does science support this?
Yes, absolutely. The memoir grounds these observations in compelling research. For instance, it cites a 0 to 3 survey, which specifically found that a calm, soft tone genuinely helped children calm down during stressful moments, showing its immediate impact on emotional regulation. An American Psychological Association study revealed that children consistently exposed to positive, gentle communication at home exhibited fewer behavioral problems compared to those raised in environments with frequent yelling or harsh tones. Furthermore, the Harvard Center on the Developing Child emphasizes that positive parent-child interactions, which prominently include gentle communication, are consistently associated with improved emotional regulation and higher self-esteem in children as they grow.
Wow, so real measurable benefits.
Definitely. These findings truly underscore the profound, scientifically supported impact of a parent's tone on a child's overall development and well-being.
So it sounds like using a soft tone cultivates a very specific and beneficial kind of home environment. Can you elaborate on what that environment looks like?
Exactly. The environment created by a soft tone tends to be, first, calm and peaceful. There's less shouting, which inherently leads to less stress for everyone. It's also deeply emotionally supportive, a space where children feel consistently valued and understood. This in turn boosts their confidence and fosters their emotional intelligence.
Makes sense.
This approach also naturally fosters a respectful and cooperative atmosphere, reducing power struggles and encouraging mutual respect. And finally, and crucially, it's a safe environment for expression. Kids are more likely to express themselves honestly, share challenges, and explore thoughts without fear. Chaplain David ties this back to what's described in Galatians chapter 5, verses 22 and 23, referring to the fruit of the Spirit. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law.
Ah, the fruit of the Spirit.
Right. A home filled with these qualities, especially gentleness and peace, truly reflects the environment created when parents consistently choose a soft tone. It's about building this foundation of trust, deep respect, and emotional safety, which naturally leads to happier, more resilient children and more harmonious family life overall.
That's a beautiful picture. Building on that supportive environment, the memoir next delves into practical strategies for raising independent toddlers, the gentle, effective way, acknowledging their notoriously short attention spans. What's their core approach here?
Well, David Averitt emphasizes the power of demonstration and repetition. Their strategy with Tiny is to meticulously show her how to do something, combining physical actions with clear verbal instructions. Then they patiently repeat this process until she can confidently perform the task independently. He candidly notes, yes, there will be misses. LOL. Remember, patience is paramount.
The LOL suggests he speaks from experience.
I think so. This understanding that mistakes are part of the learning curve is critical. They also suggest making tasks into a game, turning chores into challenges like, can you put all the toys in the basket before the timer goes off? Singing songs while doing tasks, using simple reward charts. These methods cleverly leverage a toddler's natural inclination for play.
That sounds like a wonderfully playful approach. What other practical steps do they highlight to further foster independence?
They stress several key actions. First, model the behavior. Actively let children see you doing tasks and involve them. Narrate what you're doing. Now, mommy is folding the laundry.
Got it. Show, don't just tell.
Exactly. Second, break it down into small, manageable steps. Not clean your room, but first, put away the blocks, then books on the shelf. Focus on one task at a time. Third, and this comes up again, be patient and positive. Expect mistakes, offer tons of encouragement, you're doing a great job trying, and celebrate every success, no matter how small.
Celebrating the effort.
Right. Finally, they advise to focus on independence by giving choices, blue shirt or red one, letting them try tasks themselves with supervision, and creating a child-friendly environment with accessible items like step stools or low shelves.
Making it possible for them to succeed.
Precisely.
This systematic approach leads us directly to Chaplain David's signature training method, our CWR training method, crawl, walk, run for mastery. This sounds like a really powerful framework. Can you break down each phase for us?
Yeah, this CWR method is a really neat three-phase approach designed to foster independence in a gradual, supportive way. As David Averitt wisely stated in the memoir, and it's kind of a core philosophy, growth isn't a leap, but a series of guided steps.
Love that quote.
Me too. This method truly embodies that wisdom, systematically moving a child from heavy support to full autonomy. So the first phase is the crawl phase. This is characterized by maximum support and detailed, direct guidance. In this stage, David and his wife repeatedly demonstrate exactly how to do something, using both physical actions and clear verbal instructions until Tiny begins to mimic the task.
Like holding their hand through it.
Exactly. If it's putting away toys, they'll show her step by step, explaining each motion, pick up the block, put it in the basket. This phase is crucial for building foundational understanding and developing muscle memory. It aligns beautifully with the wisdom in Isaiah chapter 28, verse 10. For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line. Here a little and there a little. It's methodical, building block by block.
Okay, crawl phase.
Yeah.
Then what?
Next comes the walk phase. Once Tiny starts performing the task independently, even if she's still a bit wobbly, they shift their role. Now it's about supervision and gentle reminders. They remain present, ready to offer help if she forgets a step. They might ask guiding questions like, what comes next in putting on your shoes? Or, did you remember the lid for that marker?
Building confidence.
Exactly. This phase is about building confidence and encouraging self-correction, letting her practice with a safety net, gradually internalizing the sequence.
And the final phase.
And finally, we reach the run phase. In this final stage, Tiny is largely autonomous. She completes the task without direct prompting. She's mastered the steps. Her parents' role here transitions to monitoring and providing feedback for refinement and continuous improvement. For instance, they might observe her tidying her clothes and suggest, that was great how you put your clothes away. Next time, let's try hanging up your dress first so it doesn't get wrinkled.
Fine-tuning.
Right. This refines her performance and encourages continuous growth. This comprehensive CWR training respects the child's developmental pace and gradually empowers them towards complete independence, building that lasting sense of accomplishment.
It's clear how small actions, consistently applied, can have a significant impact. This brings us to daily habits. Little actions, big impact. The memoir provides specific guidance on several key daily habits.
It really does break down the everyday into teachable moments. For potty training, David Averitt recommends reading engaging books about it, using a visual chart, and celebrating every success enthusiastically. For dressing for success, the advice is start with easy clothes, patiently teach socks and shoes, and crucially, let them choose outfits within reason to foster autonomy.
Letting them have some control.
Yeah. In eating adventures, the memoir suggests encouraging utensils early, letting them help prepare meals in small ways, and offering a variety of healthy foods. For the cleaning up crew, it's about routines, specific tasks, and making it fun with music or games. And for brush up on hygiene, let them choose their toothbrush, brush together, use a timer.
Making it engaging.
Exactly. The overarching key here is tailoring the approach to the toddler's personality and developmental stage, always making learning fun and gently fostering independence.
Understanding a toddler's famously short attention span is clearly crucial for effective training time. How does the memoir advise tailoring this tempo to their age?
Yeah, that's critical. The memoir provides very practical, age-specific training time, tailors the tempo guidelines. For children 1 to 2 years old, they suggest tiny bursts of discovery. Focus on very short interactive activities like 5 to 10 minutes max. Singing songs, simple books, fine motor toys, frequent brief engagement.
Got it. Short bursts.
For 2 to 3 years old, it's building blocks of learning. Slightly more structured activities, maybe 10 to 15 minutes. Simple puzzles, building blocks, basic art projects. Introducing foundational skills through play.
Okay, bit longer.
And for 3 to 4 years old, it's prepping for preschool power. This is a great age for pre-literacy and pre-math skills.
Yeah.
Letter recognition, counting games, sorting. Sessions can extend to 15 to 20 minutes, especially if they're really engaged.
Adapting to their growing capacity.
Exactly. This tailored approach maximizes learning potential while respecting their limits and keeping it joyful.
It's clear that every day, every moment presents numerous learning opportunities. Chaplain David highlights everyday moments, real-life learning in action in the memoir. How do they leverage these simple moments, like just going for a walk?
He beautifully suggests turning something as simple as a walk into life lessons. As they stroll, David or his wife will point out their home, saying something like, "See, there's our home. That's where we live." This helps Tiny recognize and appreciate her dwelling. He also powerfully encourages pointing out nature and acknowledging God's masterpiece all around us. Maybe saying, "Look at the pretty flowers God made. Aren't they beautiful?"
Integrating faith naturally.
Subtly yet consistently. It introduces children to the Creator and His works. Psalm chapter 19, verse 1 reminds us, "The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth His handiwork." Finding opportunities in the mundane for deeper lessons.
Birthdays, too, are more than just cake and presents, aren't they? How does the memoir suggest making them meaningful moments of growth?
David Averitt frames birthdays as a blessing to behold. He suggests shifting the focus from just receiving gifts to talking about the blessing of another year of life, the joy of growing and learning.
Cultivating gratitude.
Precisely. It helps children develop gratitude for their existence. He also encourages teaching children to appreciate others' birthdays, extending that joy beyond themselves. Psalm chapter 118, verse 24 captures this. "This is the day which the Lord hath made. We will rejoice and be glad in it," recognizing the gift of each day.
Mastering routines. The backbone of their day is highlighted as incredibly important. How do they approach the evening wind down with Tiny? This sounds like a key area for independence.
A consistent evening routine is indeed crucial. For Tiny, the evening wind down and bath time independence is not just a routine, but a beloved ritual. The key to her remarkable independence here, the memoir explains, is that CWR method, again patiently teaching her from a young age with consistent, gentle guidance.
So that method applies across different skills.
Definitely. Now, the only thing mom or dad does is prepare a bathtub, fill it, add soap. From there, Tiny handles almost everything. Getting in, washing, getting out, drying off, pajamas, brushing teeth, washing face.
Wow, that's impressive for a 4-year-old.
It really is. This early autonomy instills profound confidence and ownership over her personal hygiene. David Averitt cites Proverbs chapter 22, verse 6 again. Train up a child in the way he should go. And while Psalm chapter 24, verse 4 about clean hands and a pure heart refers to spiritual purity, Chaplain David sees it as a simple analogy for the importance of external cleanliness and self-care. It's a beautiful example of small steps building significant independence.
Okay, let's unpack morning power-up. Ready for anything. Because this sounds like a truly funny and unique example of Tiny's personality and how routines shape her day. I'm intrigued.
Oh, this section is genuinely delightful and so relatable. Chaplain David shares that, like her mother, his 4-year-old daughter is distinctly not a morning person.
I know the feel.
Right. She's slow to wake up, prefers quiet. Her mother has this specific morning ritual, needs her coffee, personal time, shower, get dressed, makeup before she's ready to engage. And what's remarkable and quite funny is that Tiny mirrors this routine almost exactly. It's become a foundational training time for her.
No way. What does she do?
She wakes up, drinks water, uses the bathroom, washes her face, meticulously brushes her teeth, gets dressed, puts on her shoes, and then proceeds to apply her play makeup and do her nails.
The full works at 4.
The full works. This comprehensive sequence, while maybe elaborate, powerfully reinforces personal hygiene, self-care, and the concept of preparing oneself for the day. It's quite the morning regimen.
And what happens after this impressive morning prep? Does she then, demand coffee?
Not quite. Afterward, she usually seeks out her dad during his quiet time. David Averitt shares he takes this time to read his Bible, admitting he's currently just turning the page, recognizing the ritual's importance, prays for his family, pastor, even their dogs. Once that concludes, they're ready for their cherished walk to McDonald's just 5 minutes away.
A daily walk to McDonald's.
Yep. On these daily walks, they engage in meaningful conversations, treating everyone with kindness, helping others, showing respect, yes sir, yes ma'am. They also practice her birthday and address, which she's now memorized, but they keep reviewing.
Reinforcement.
Exactly. The goal, Mr. Averitt explains, is establishing a clear schedule and readiness for the day. He refers to Colossians chapter 3, verse 23. And whatsoever ye do, do it heartily, as to the Lord and not unto men. Even small routines done with purpose makes those walks packed with intentional learning.
Learning isn't just for school hours, clearly, which leads us to cultivating a spirit of learning and faith, more than just school. What does the memoir suggest for instilling these values outside of formal education?
Well, Mr. Averitt recommends making schoolwork a joy even before formal schooling by intentionally introducing learning time. Looking at picture books, identifying shapes, simple counting games, always keeping it engaging and positive to instill a genuine love for learning early on. As Proverbs chapter 18, verse 15 states, "The heart of the prudent getteth knowledge, and the ear of the wise seeketh knowledge," highlighting that intrinsic value.
And the faith aspect.
Fundamentally, there's prayer, their daily conversation with God.
So how do they weave prayer into Tiny's everyday life, making it natural?
They foster a consistent habit of 3 times a day prayer. A morning prayer, a simple prayer at noon, and an evening prayer of gratitude. They always take a moment to pray over meals, expressing gratitude. The goal is making these interactions with God feel natural and heartfelt, a continuous conversation throughout the day, embodying 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 17. Pray without ceasing.
Making it a rhythm.
Exactly. They also prioritize reading God's Word, a lamp to their feet, suggesting reading a children's Bible or simple Bible stories together, explaining who God is and His love in an age-appropriate way. Psalm chapter 119, verse 105 promises, "Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path," illustrating that spiritual guidance. This holistic approach integrates faith deeply into her daily life.
Okay, let's shift gears slightly. The digital world is an inescapable part of modern life, and Chaplain David Averitt emphasizes teaching children to navigate it wisely. The section is Navigating the Digital World, Smart Choices, Safe Exploration. What's his core advice here?
His core advice is unequivocal. Parents are the gatekeepers. Electronic devices can be incredible tools, he acknowledges, but parents must maintain complete and vigilant control over the content their child accesses. He specifically recommends YouTube Kids, your educational ally, advising parents to actively seek out shows that promote polite manners, saying please, thank you to mom or dad. These can powerfully reinforce values taught at home.
Using it intentionally.
Right. Applying the principle from Philippians chapter 4, verse 8. Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, think on these things. Applying biblical principles directly to media consumption.
So, app approval. A non-negotiable safeguard is absolutely crucial in his view. Sounds like a lot of work for parents.
Absolutely crucial, yes. And while it might feel like an added hassle, David Everett insists that vetting every single app for content, educational value, and age appropriateness is essential. It's a vital safeguard for their minds and innocence. As David Everett reminds us with a powerful statement, what we allow into their minds today shapes the world they will build tomorrow.
That's a heavy thought.
It is. It underscores the long-term impact. The memoir also references Proverbs chapter 4, verse 23. Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. Guarding what enters their minds, even through an app, is part of protecting their heart.
Mr. Everett also suggests an early guided tech introduction. How does he recommend doing this responsibly if parents choose to?
He advocates introducing technology under direct parental supervision and with strictly controlled content. For instance, they let Tiny F tricks, use devices for video calls to connect with family, fosters connection, teaches communication skills. They use audio messages for little voices, showing her how to listen and send simple audio messages, building early literacy and familiarity with different communication forms.
Okay, practical uses.
Yeah. And finally, educational games for brain boosts. Specifically chosen learning apps to reinforce skills like numbers, letters, shapes, problem solving, all presented in a fun way, positioning tech as a tool for development, not just passive entertainment.
Teaching financial smarts is another critical life skill, and the memoir addresses this with learning about stewardship through online shopping. Smart spending starts early. This sounds quite unique for a toddler. How does that work?
It is remarkably innovative, turning online activity into this hands-on digital classroom for financial responsibility. They engage in what he calls guided online shopping adventures, using familiar apps like Walmart, Amazon, Target.
Okay, but how? Are they actually buying stuff?
That's the key point. The memoir stresses, do not log into your accounts or add your credit card information.
Okay, so it's purely educational practice.
Precisely. The goal is practice, not purchase. Most apps let you browse as a guest. They actively teach what to look for. Be a smart shopper. Reviewing product descriptions, images, categories with Tiny. Look, this tells us what the toy does. Then they let Tiny add to the cart. Virtual window shopping. Carefully explaining these aren't theirs yet, just things they're considering, like a wish list.
Managing expectations.
Right. They also find good deals, hunt for the best value, highlighting sales, comparing prices, introducing the concept of value and wise spending from a very young age. Proverbs chapter 21, verse 5 states, the thoughts of the diligent tend only to plenteousness, instilling that diligent approach.
And they even extend this to thinking about delivery versus pickup, counting the cost. That's a very practical lesson for anyone.
It's incredibly practical. They explain the difference, having it delivered versus picking it up. They might say, if we get it delivered, there's a fee, but pickup saves money, which makes more sense. It teaches practical budgeting, considering the balance between convenience and cost. Weighing those factors is a vital life skill. It echoes Luke chapter 14, verse 28. Which of you, intending to build a tower, sitteth not down first and counteth the cost? Counting the cost applies even here.
Wow, that's detailed financial training. This detailed foundation leads into Tiny's financial independence and daily rhythm, building responsible habits. How early did David Everett begin these lessons, and how is Tiny putting them into practice now?
David Everett began teaching Tiny about finance at the remarkable age of 3. She now has her own kid's debit card, personalized with her picture.
A debit card at 3.
Well, she got it then. Now she's 4 and using it. She earns money through various household tasks, though the memoir clarifies basic chores are expected contributions. Earning money is for extra efforts. Even at just 4, she independently tries to help with dishes, rinsing and putting them in the dishwasher, or she'll grab a broom or dust cloth.
Taking initiative.
Yes. For a full year, they practiced daily routines, and now they're working on scheduling skills. She isn't managing all her finances independently yet, obviously, but she loves the experience of using her debit card at stores for small things she can afford. Tapping the card is her favorite part.
I bet. That early exposure is invaluable.
Absolutely. Builds a strong foundation for responsibility and financial literacy.
And it seems Tiny also has some early culinary adventures. Little chef, big skills in the kitchen. What kind of culinary talents is she developing?
This section is truly charming. Mom started teaching Tiny cooking eggs and making coffee at just 3. Now, at 4, her skills have advanced. She can skillfully crack eggs into a bowl and whisk them. Of course, she asks a parent to cook them. She's not allowed near the stove, which David Averitt hilariously adds, LOL.
Safety first.
Definitely. She also loves making cold coffee for her dad a couple of times a week. And Mr. Averitt admits with a laugh, I'll be honest, it is good coffee. I think she makes it better than I do.
High praise.
All right. While he concedes her surrounding area for coffee prep sometimes needs a little help cleaning up, he emphasizes it's the effort, the learning, the burgeoning independence that count. She manages the whole coffee process herself. This reflects Ephesians chapter 6, verse 1. Children, obey your parents for following instructions like not touching the stove. And her desire to make coffee for Dad shows that budding spirit of service, aligning with Galatians chapter 5, verse 13. By love, serve one another.
That's wonderful. Beyond chores and cooking, Tenny also clearly loves her music and staying active.
Yes, her life is well-rounded. She enjoys children's music and her dad's favorite Christian music. She's quite tech-savvy, knows how to use Spotify, cast it to Google Hubs or the TV. Another important part of her routine is her daily workout. She follows a specific YouTube Kids workout video, and as David Averitt observes, she's getting quite good at it. As Mr. Averitt noted, a child's daily habits are the bricks with which they build their future. These activities show a balanced approach, entertainment, physical activity, tech proficiency, all guided.
The end of the day seems just as enriching as the beginning, as seen in winding down with wisdom and wonder. Evening rituals. How do they close out the day?
They meticulously continue their evening routine, prayer, Bible, and books. Before Tiny goes to bed, consistency again, prayer, and a short Bible reading. Helps reflect, connect with God, find peace. Reading a storybook together is also precious bonding time. Fosters a love of reading, expands imagination, provides that calming transition to sleep. Mr. Averitt strongly emphasizes parental involvement in reading is invaluable, shows its importance, strengthens speaking skills, builds cherished memories.
And they even leverage smart tech, smart kids, Google Home as a daily ally. This sounds like a very modern approach to daily reminders. How does that work?
It's a fantastic example of integrating tech thoughtfully. They use their Google Hubs as a tool for positive reinforcement and consistency. They've programmed Google Home to go off audibly 3 times a day with helpful reminders.
Like what kind of reminders?
Prayer reminders, stating, please stop and take time to pray for the pastor, people that are sick, and others. Maintaining that spiritual habit. Pet care reminders like, let the dogs go out, ensuring the dogs are cared for. There are also chore reminders like, Tiny, it is time to pick up the den. A simple cue, no nagging needed. And on church days, a specific church day prep reminder. Tiny, it is time to get ready for church clothes, hair, nails, and makeup.
Covering all the bases.
Pretty much. Mr. Averitt suggests if you have Alexa or similar, you can set up similar routines, making technology a collaborative ally in managing daily life and fostering responsibility.
Okay, let's tackle a big topic that weighs on many parents. Shaping tomorrow, the pre-K versus home learning debate. Chaplain David shares insights from research on this crucial decision. What does the memoir conclude is the most important factor?
The memoir delves into this extensively, and the core finding Chaplain David presents is clear. The quality of the early learning environment, whether it's formal pre-K or at home, is the most crucial factor.
Quality over location.
Exactly. Regarding the long-term effects of pre-K attendance, early studies often showed better kindergarten readiness. However, Mr. Averitt points out some more recent, large-scale studies found initial gains often faded by 3rd grade. In some cases, by 6th grade, pre-K attendees even scored lower on achievement tests and had higher rates of disciplinary issues. These adverse effects were more pronounced in lower-quality programs or when followed by lower-quality elementary education.
That's surprising, actually.
It can be. Conversely, high-quality pre-K programs, good teachers, low ratios, family engagement showed more lasting positive effects like higher graduation rates. As for not enrolling in pre-K home-based learning, there's less large-scale research specifically on home-only kids, but existing studies suggest the home environment can be equally or even more effective if parents provide rich language, social, and learning experiences.
So the parent's role is key.
Paramount. Children with high-quality, parent-led early education often enter kindergarten with comparable or even better skills. Some research indicates pre-K benefits are most pronounced for children from disadvantaged backgrounds. Children from more advantaged homes might see little difference. The general consensus, as presented in the memoir, is that pre-K doesn't inherently harm children. The critical determinant is the quality of the program or home environment. Positive effects endure with quality pre-K, followed by quality elementary. For families providing a rich, engaging home environment, skipping formal pre-K is unlikely to harm long-term development. David Averitt emphasizes parental dedication and intentionality are potent forces. Proverbs chapter 1 verse 5 offers wisdom. A wise man will hear and will increase learning. Applies to parents seeking wisdom here.
Really helpful context for a big decision. Finally, let's explore the vital role of Sunday school in nurturing faith and community under partnering in their spiritual growth at home Sunday school support. How does the memoir suggest parents can best support what happens there?
Sunday school provides a fantastic foundation, and the memoir stresses parental involvement at home significantly deepens that learning. It's viewed as a dynamic partnership, church and family. David Averitt advises parents to work through worksheets together, if provided, using it as review and discussion time. Also, engage in meaningful conversations beyond just, "What did you do?" Ask open-ended questions. Share the story you learned. What new things did you discover about Jesus? Gently clarify if needed.
Going deeper.
Right. Most importantly, bring lessons home.
Ah.
Actively discuss how stories apply to daily life, read related Bible passages, keep the faith conversation going all week, a living dialogue.
And what are the broader benefits of Sunday school? Nurturing faith and friendship from a young age. Beyond just the lessons, what does it offer toddlers?
Sunday school is presented as this crucial space where spiritual, social, and moral foundations are shaped. Age-appropriate lessons help toddlers understand God's love, biblical teachings, guiding them. Regular participation encourages prayer, worship, engagement with the faith community, fostering a lifelong journey. Psalm chapter 78 verse 4 reminds us, "We will not hide them from their children, showing to the generation to come the praises of the Lord," passing on faith.
And beyond the spiritual aspect, socially, morally?
Yes, significant social and emotional growth. A unique environment to interact with peers, form friendships, learn cooperation, empathy. It also strongly supports moral and ethical development. Lessons on honesty, kindness, forgiveness help internalize Christian values. It's a powerful reinforcement of faith at home, complementing what's taught there. The memoir emphasizes, the church was never meant to be the exclusive faith teacher. God's plan was for the two institutions, church and family, to form a partnership.
That partnership idea is key. Are there any specific personal stories from parents or ministry leaders that illustrate this impact?
Yes, the memoir includes heartwarming testimonials. Joy Wendling, a parent and ministry leader, shares her daughter's palpable excitement for Sunday school, the sheer joy of worship, songs, crafts, friends, feeling loved by caring adults. Another parent comment in the memoir powerfully highlights Sunday school as a vital supplement, not replacement, for faith at home. Many parents note it helps children view church as fun and safe, making them want to return. Crafts and songs become cherished memories.
So what's the long-term impact of consistent Sunday school participation on toddlers, according to the memoir? What does it build?
The memoir outlines several profound ways. How it affects toddlers in the long run. Children who attend regularly with parental support are more likely to develop a stronger faith identity, continuing their journey into adulthood. The early lessons become a deeply ingrained moral compass, guiding their lives. They gain significant social confidence interacting in that supportive community. And crucially, they establish a lifelong support network through friendships and connections. The key takeaway is Sunday school, especially with active parental involvement, powerfully nurtures faith, character, and community, a valuable supplement enriching what parents teach daily.
What a truly insightful and really practical deep dive into tiny steps, big leaps, guiding your toddler's growth every day as a training day. It's so clear that every tick-tock of the clock, every little interaction, is indeed a precious opportunity to guide your toddler's growth.
Absolutely. By thoughtfully embracing these everyday training days, from creative sermon bingo to playful financial literacy online, and by integrating technology thoughtfully with clear boundaries and lessons in wise stewardship, you're not just raising children, you're actively nurturing future leaders, compassionate individuals, and faithful followers who possess the wisdom and character to navigate this complex world. These tiny, consistent steps taken today really will lead to those big transformative leaps tomorrow.
For those interested in diving even deeper into Chaplain David Averett's profound insights, the complete 17-page memoir, along with over 20 credible references and resources mentioned within it, is available on the California Jail Outreach website. It offers a comprehensive look at everything we discussed.
And we really do strongly encourage you to explore California Jail Outreach, a lifeline for families facing incarceration. Their mission is clear and incredibly impactful, providing dedicated support for families with incarcerated loved ones, helping family members and children navigate the profound challenges of that difficult season. If you know individuals in the jail system needing spiritual support and prayer, or if you're looking for ways to support families in this situation, you can direct them to their website, www.sajailoutreach.com. They are truly making a difference.
Thanks for listening. We'll catch you on the next deep dive. Stay safe, goodbye, and until the trumpet blows, have a fantastic day.
Thanks for joining us on The Growth Journey. If you're ready to keep growing in faith, leadership, and life, be sure to follow the show and share it with someone on their own path. For more resources to connect with David Averett, visit cajailoutreach.org. Until next time, keep pursuing real life, real growth, and divinely inspired results.